Starting us off at number 10, we have the U-2 spy planes. I know, we just want to get to the alien stuff, but in order to get there, we need to go through the weird human stuff first. So, Area 51 is commonly a place of suspicion, with many thinking that there is proof of aliens and alien tech that lives there. But once the top secret area was finally recognized in 2013, it was released to the public that it is actually a top secret US Air Force base, where they test tons of new and not yet released aircrafts. One of those aircrafts being the U-2 spy plane. The U-2 spy plane was first created to keep an eye on the Soviet Union, as the US was worried about a nuclear threat. This plane is known to fly higher than 70,000 feet with a top speed of 805 miles per hour. The idea was that if this plane could soar so high up and at top speeds, it would be less noticeable than other spy planes at the time. It also didn't need to refuel until after 3,000 miles or so. Flight tests began at Area 51 on August 1st, 1955, after a short 8 months of construction. The project was known as Project Aquatone. Sounds like a skin treatment. The defense contractor Lockheed Martin built the first plane on a $22 million budget, which is about $207 million today. Even though this plane was crazy expensive, one was actually shot down over Soviet airspace in 1960. Both the pilot and the planes were retrieved, but forced the US to admit that they were spying. So what happened next? Well, the SR-71 Blackbird. That's right, coming in at our number 9 spot, we have the SR-71 Blackbird, the plane that was to make up for the US Air Force's previous failure. Pressure was on the Lockheed Martin team after the U-2 was shot down. They were to create an entire new plane that could not be shot down and fully operational in 20 months. In case you don't know this, that is an extremely difficult task. The Blackbird finally began testing on December 22nd, 1964, and it featured tons of new tech. Aircraft designer Kelly Johnson said everything had to be invented. Everything. It was known to many as the perfect spy plane. It could fly up to 80,000 feet high and also had a top speed of 2,100 miles per hour. That's a freaking huge jump from the U-2. Many at the time believed that the remains of the Roswell crash in 1947 were actually being kept at Area 51, and don't worry, settle down, I'll get there. But because this was during the Cold War, the CIA actually encouraged the myth that aliens were flying around Area 51 so that the Soviets wouldn't know about their newest weaponized toy. But of course, that wasn't the last of their super cool high-tech toys. At number 8, we have the A-12 Oxcart. This was another plane that was in development at the same time as the Blackbird and was in the running to be the new recon spy plane, but the Blackbird won on that one. The other difference was that the A-12 Oxcart had a crew of 1 and it was operated by the CIA and not the US Air Force, who could fit a crew of 2 in the Blackbird. Later testing proved that the CIA Air Force didn't want to go through the development of this aircraft, so the A-12 slowly morphed into the Blackbird, and even the later plane known as the Interceptor YF-12. The Oxcart, however, was smaller than the Blackbird and faster and could reach higher altitudes, but it was still not the winner in this scenario. It could reach heights of up to 90,000 feet and a top speed of 2,208 miles per hour. These craft only operated from 1967 to 68, which is no wonder why most people forget about this one. Or maybe we were forced to forget about it. It's a conspiracy, man. At number 7, we have the M21 and D21 Tagboard. Originally known as the Q-12, this craft was originally intended to be expendable. The name was later changed to D21 Tagboard because it was carried on the back of the A-12 launch vehicle designated at M21. M stood for mother and D stood for daughter. Then the project was given the name Tagboard. The D21A was built with titanium and various radar-absorbing plastic composites and looked like a stovepipe with a cone in its inlet. The D21 could fly up to speeds of 1,700 miles per hour at an altitude of 95,000 feet. It also had a 3,450 mile range before it needed to refuel. That's pretty impressive. The M21 was a 2-seat version of the A-12, but unfortunately these tag team drone planes had a bit of an accident. During a flight on July 30th, 1966, a D-21 collided with an M-21 on release, destroying both crafts. Both crewmen were able to be ejected in time, falling to the sea, but one of them tragically drowned after his pressure suit leaked. The D-21 drone was then later replaced by the KH-11 Keyhole Reconnaissance Satellite. At number 6, we have everyone's favorite new toy, drones! Okay, I don't actually mean the US Air Force is testing all those tiny little remote-controlled toys that we all buy online, but it is believed that the new hangar being built in the same place where the A-12 Oxcart was tested is actually home to a fleet of new unmanned drones that are just waiting to be taken for a test fly. Test drive? You know, it doesn't matter, you get the point. A quartet of modern hangars divided into 2 separate buildings measuring 90 feet wide, are known to be the hangars number 20 to 23 and have been seen going through some pretty major upgrades. Upgrades for what? Probably these drones. These drones are known more professionally as unmanned combat air vehicles, UCAVs for short. Many theorize that the extension and building of this new hangar in the southern ramp area of the base will house large numbers of these craft, keeping them secret and covered up from overhead spies, inclement weather, and of course our friends above us, the aliens. Coming in at our halfway point at number 5, we have trespassing humans. This one should be an obvious one, because I'm sure we all remember the Storm Area 51, they can't stop all of us raid back in September of 2019, which definitely didn't go as planned. This was a Facebook event that over 2 million people responded to going, as well as 1.5 million responded with interested. Obviously, because of all the alien rumors, myths, and legends, just about every single day tourists can be seen trying to get as close as they possibly can to the top secret base. Although the closest people can get is to the gates, which are still miles away from the actual base. Clearly, at least 2 million people thought that if they all band together, then they could storm past the gate, run a few miles, and reach the ultimate destination of Area 51. Emphasis on thought, because on the actual day of the event, only about 150 people showed up and none of them got in. Shocker. I remember the day I came across this event and I laughed my butt off because this was before it made international headlines and I thought it was pretty cool. And I think I even actually responded as going because I thought it was just so freaking funny. But anyway, I never had any real intentions of going because of our number 4 spot. That's right, coming in at number 4, we have Camo Duuudes. All over and around Area 51, you can see Camo Duuudes guarding the gates, viewpoints, and other mildly unprotected entrance and vantage points. These scary and intimidating Camo Duuudes ride around in pure white Jeeps, making their presence known to any and all who dare to get close to the top secret base. At the 2 entrances of Area 51, huge and important signs can be seen stating that there is absolutely no trespassing, and if you have the inkling to do so, let it be known that these Camo Duuudes have clearance to use lethal force. That's right, they will shoot at you, and what's the point in finding the answer to are we alone in the universe if you die immediately right after? Or even dying without getting the answer, that's even worse. These Camo Duuudes have also been known to have the ability to listen in on whoever is near the gates, and when tourists ask themselves, hey, I wonder if they will wave to us, they immediately give back a nice little wave confirming that you are being watched and listened to. So, tread carefully. Starting us off in our top 3 spot at number 3, we have UFOs. That's right, no duh. Due to all the top secret flight testing that they do in and around the top secret base, many have found secret little vantage points to camp out and see if they spy anything. With some luck, many have reported seeing UFOs and strange lights above the airbase at night, and many don't believe them to be human technology. Not only have there been reports of strange lights and UFOs above the base, but even in the state of Nevada, there have been countless eyewitnesses to strange things and objects in the sky. I mean, that only makes sense, as Nevada is home to the extraterrestrial highway, which of course was created due to all the alien lore surrounding the area. But many bars, restaurants, cafes, gift shops, all of those things all go along with the theme and also believe for themselves that aliens are indeed real and are indeed here. At number 2, we have spacecrafts. Actual alien spacecrafts. Oh my god! Back in 1942 in Roswell, New Mexico, a devastating crash apparently took place on the night of July 8th. The Roswell Army Airfield reported that they recovered a flying disc from the scene, only to retract their statements soon after, reporting that it was actually just a crashed weather balloon. Yeah, right. Since this incident, many have gone on record saying that the famous picture of Jesse A. Marcel posing with the weather balloon debris was indeed faked. That was what they were asked to report on after the top secret government officials confiscated the actual crash debris and were never seen of again. It is now popular belief that not only was the craft confiscated and brought into a top secret high government hands, there was also 3 human-shaped bodies. Notice the wording. Human-shaped, but not human. Due to all of its top secret mythos, many believe that once Area 51 was built in 1955, that's where all of the evidence from Roswell, New Mexico now rested. Of course, there's no way to prove it unless we get in there, and by the way, I also recently learned that there are even secrets and truths kept from the freaking president. So don't count on getting close to any of that info anytime soon. But wait, back up. Dewey, did you say 3 human-shaped bodies were recovered? Does that mean... Yup. Finally coming in at our number 1 spot, and the most shocking and obvious thing on our list is actual aliens! Back in 1995, footage of an alien autopsy supposedly at Area 51 was released thanks to London-based video entrepreneur Ray Santilli. This footage caused an international sensation and was shown on television networks all over the world. Santilli later in 2006 admitted that the film was a reconstruction, which, no duh. But do we really think the government and the Men in Black would really let the news channels all around the world show an alien autopsy? I don't think so. But that being said, Santilli said the footage was reconstructed, as in that there is actual footage of this autopsy, and whoever created this widely released tape was actually recreating an event that actually happened. To the best of my knowledge, there is no hard proof that this footage exists out there, but it wouldn't matter anyway, because most of it is supposedly lost. All I know is that 3 human-shaped bodies were recovered from Roswell, and that can mean a lot of things. Whether they're at Area 51 or not, I think they're here. Starting us off at our top 10 spot is hazardous working conditions. Back in the 1990s, a lawyer from George Washington University named Jonathan Turley was contacted by a group of people who claimed to work at Area 51. They were in need of Turley's lawyer skills because they believed they were exposed to hazardous materials while working in the top secret base. In an article in the Los Angeles Times, Turley said that the workers described how the government had placed discarded equipment and hazardous waste in open trenches the length of football fields, then doused them with jet fuel and set them on fire. The highly toxic smoke blowing through the desert base was known as London fog by workers. Many came down with classic skin and respiratory illnesses associated with exposure to burning hazardous waste. A chief aim of the lawsuits was to discover exactly what the workers had been exposed to so that they could get appropriate medical care. Apparently, Turley proved that the government had acted in violation of federal law, but the government, of course, refused to declassify any information about what they were burning in these trenches, which is and was horrible because without knowing what exact substance gave all these workers their reactions, it made the doctors' jobs just that much harder in knowing how to treat the workers' illnesses. The burning at Area 51 was most likely a federal crime, but once again these guys got off scot-free because they could hide behind more and more secrecy. As Dana Carvey's church lady would say, well, isn't that special? At number 9, we have a plane pool. Not an airplane swimming pool, but you know how some people carpool to work? Well, it is believed that some of the workers at Area 51 actually plane pool to work. According to the source USA Today, Area 51 employees board an unmarked craft at McCarran International Airport in Las Vegas and are then flown to an undisclosed location, aka Area 51. What is known though is they fly somewhere with the airline known as Janet, which some believe stands for just another non-existent terminal. Very clever. The unmarked craft is reportedly a Boeing 737-600s and its official destination is unknown. But back in 2018, Janet was reportedly hiring a new flight attendant. The job posting wrote that applicants must be level-headed and clear-thinking while handling unusual incidences and situations. But that's it. That sounds really fishy and kind of intimidating, but if any of you are watching our flight attendants, please go get a job at Janet and then please hit me up. At number 8, we have a mailbox. Okay, so this one isn't exactly inside Area 51, but it's close enough. About 12 miles away from Area 51 is a pair of black mailboxes. According to Bob Lazar, a man who recently made claims he worked at Area 51, but with no real proof, he says that if you want to see some crazy scheduled UFO flight tests, one of the best places to watch them is from these set of mailboxes. Originally, it was just a single black mailbox owned by a man named Steve Medlin, but many tourists and alien fans all around the world would come and tamper with his mail as well as destroy the mailbox. I'm guessing to see if any of the mail going to this supposed real person named Steve was actually real or top secret alien info. So, actual non-alien, Earth-born Steve Medlin put up another mailbox beside it with the name Alien on it, so anyone hoping to send messages to aliens or get a reply can do their business, all the while Steve can get his bills and birthday cards without any trouble. Poor Steve. At number 7, we have a possible film set? That's right, one of the many conspiracy theories surrounding Area 51 is the theory that the original moon landing footage never actually took place on the moon. Many believe it was actually taken at Area 51 with brainwashed astronauts who then returned to normal society, believing that they flew all the way to the moon and landed placing the American flag into the gray, dusty cheese surface. One of those believers being Bill Kaysing, author of We Never Went to the Moon, America's $30 billion swindle. Oof. Lengthy and original title. He not only believes this theory, but he also believes that NASA used lunar meteorites found in Antarctica as stand-ins for moon rocks. Yeah, I don't know about this one, guys, because I think it's pretty obvious that we did go to the moon, and in the off chance we didn't back in 1969, we definitely have now, okay? At number 6, buckle up and let's go off-roading because we have white trucks. That's right, you remember those crazy intimidating camo dudes I talked about in the first video? Well, for years and years they have been seen roaming in and around around the base in white unmarked vehicles. They had been seen in white Jeep Cherokees, Chevrolet Silverados, Ford F-150s, but since 2011 have mostly been driving around in the crazy fun Ford Raptor, which makes total sense. The Ford Raptor is meant for driving on off-road terrain. Well, this is a pretty get-up-and-go kind of truck. It's perfect for Area 51 Camo Duudes, as the land is mostly flat, dirt terrain that if they need to speed off to scare away any trespassers or aliens, they can just hop in their Ford Raptor and give her. As we say here in Canada, they can take her for a rip. I think Ford needs to get on that ad right away. The Ford Raptor, taking Area 51 Camo Duudes for a rip since 2011. Coming in at number 5 at our halfway point, we have a giant robot. Well, says this one guy. A man named Scott of UFOs Daily has a video online where he inspects Area 51 using Google Earth. He goes in for an extreme close-up of an area of land that is filled with random unidentifiable things on the ground and claims it to be new technology, whatever the hell that means. He zooms in even more and finds what seems to be a giant human-shaped silhouette on the ground. He claims it to be a giant robot. I honestly cannot take this one seriously, guys, because it is such a huge assumption, and sure, whatever lying on the ground does indeed have the shape of a human body, but come on, a giant robot? Maybe it's just like a giant men's washroom sign for overhead pilots or aliens, or even just a clutter of random crap made into a human shape to troll some alien believer into thinking it's something more than what it is. Yeah, I think it worked. Either way, there is or was a pile of something in the shape of a human at Area 51. That is confirmed, but I don't think it's no longer there because I did just check Google Earth before doing this video and I don't see nothing, so whatever. At number 4, we have big mouths. Many former employees at Area 51 are now starting to go against their promise of swearing to absolute secrecy. Everyone, I'm sure, is well aware of Bob Lazar. If you're not, then an easy Google search and watch of a documentary on Netflix will surely bring you up to speed. Go do that right now. Hey, you back? Good. But other than Lazar, other supposed former employees of the top secret bases are opening up their big mouths and giving away top secret information. One of them being supposed Area 51 veteran James Nose. Nose recalls handling multiple mishaps that were accidentally exposed to the public, such as a crash of a top secret craft that was witnessed by a police officer and a family on vacation. The family apparently took photos and Mr. Nose was in charge of confiscating the photos and telling the family to shut up or else. Nose later said that there was no official documentation stating that he worked at the top secret base and that his salary was paid in cash. An under the table government paying job? Say what? He also said he never saw any alien activity at the site. At the site. Yeah. Okay, whatever you say, Jimbo. At number 3, we have underground operations. That's right, if you look at Area 51 on Google Earth, like I did, or from above, you may wonder where on earth do they hide all of the top secret alien tech and new and never used military equipment? Answer? Probably underground. I'm sure many of us have seen Independence Day and other alien invasion movies, but just like many movies in pop culture, many suspect that most of the testing and actual tech is indeed stored beneath the ground. The deeper you go, the more top secret the project and tech is. One of the conspiracists named John Lear, heir to the Learjet fortune, spun bizarre stories that aliens were being kept underground in camps and being fed mutilated cattle and smaller humans. Gross! There's also no exact proof of any of this, but honestly, Area 51 spans over a huge amount of desert, and I think if they ever wanted to start a huge underground alien colony, it'd be pretty easy. Coming in at number 2, we have Tic Tacs. No, not the little candies that sometimes freshen your breath, unless they're just the tasty orange ones. I'm talking about alien crafts that are in the shape of Tic Tacs. In a podcast episode on the Joe Rogan Experience with alien lover Jeremy Corbell and supposed former Area 51 employee Bob Lazar, Lazar opened up about the recent Tic Tac footage that leaked from the 2004 footage and stated that this specific craft actually looked and operated similarly to the craft that he spotted while working at Area 51. Many believe Lazar's story, but with more and more slight details no longer matching up, some would say his story is losing its validity. But one thing is for certain, there are Tic Tac shaped UFOs out there, and if we do indeed have any of those craft in our possession on Earth, I bet you it's at Area 51. And finally, coming in at our number 1 spot, and definitely the weirdest one of them all, we have alien architects. Our good friend John Lear, along with his theory that aliens are being hidden and fed underground at Area 51, also quite strongly believes that not only are aliens being housed and fed at the top secret base, they're also helping build the top secret base. To be quite specific, he believes it's the aliens we know as the Greys that are helping assist in the building construction. If this is true, then I bet you the underground buildings and structures are quite advanced. I think we should bring the Greys above ground and let me hire them to do some of the renovations on my apartment, because it could use an upgrade. Because the alien god only knows that I can't do it by myself. While this one is yet again another assumption, it is pretty cool. This isn't the first time I've heard something like this. A few years back, I stumbled into a dinner party where a former government worker divulged his knowledge on aliens, specifically the reptilians, and I learned there that they are the ones who made the iPhone. Pretty cool. And also reptilians are disguised as humans. They're usually white men with blonde, brunette, black, or orange hair. So that narrows it down. Either way, it sounds like we may have had quite the helping hand from our friends above, or so we think.
Area 51 is said to be one of the most secure and mysterious locations of all time. Is this because the government is hiding aliens there? Well, it may just be. In today's video, we will be looking at leaked photos from Area 51, and some might just show proof of alien life. Starting off this countdown, we have the secret entrances. Just last year, a man claimed to have found 3 hidden entrances that lead to Area 51. He discovered this after using Google Earth. He compared images of the base from different time periods. In one particular area in 1998, there seems to be no roads or entrance. Satellite pictures of that same location in 2005, 2010, and 2013 show a road and a dead end with what looks like an entrance and tunnel carved into a mountain. In fact, at the dead end, there appears to be cars parked there. Seems unusual for people to just park there, because what is around for them to do? Wander the barren plain alone? No, they're parking their cars there and then entering Area 51 through this secret entrance. In our 9th spot, we have the alien craft. What I'm about to show you is a leaked video and some photos from Area 51 of an alien spacecraft test. The video features a flying object hovering in the sky and moving in ways that other crafts definitely don't do. This was recorded on May 15, 2017, and then was leaked years later. If this isn't actually a UFO, then what could it be? That's what's baffling people. The way it just moves up and down and side to side that quickly is very strange, especially because of its size. What do you think though? Is this proof that Area 51 has gotten their hands on an alien spacecraft? Moving on to number 8, we have the transportation of a UFO. When this next photo was leaked online, it was met with a number of conspiracy theories. So this is the image of the CIA transporting a large part for one of their top secret projects. In fact, when this was getting transported, the CIA sealed off the entire highway. And I'm sure you can see why this was met with a number of conspiracy theories. Like, look at the shape of the thing that they're transporting. That is definitely a UFO or part of a UFO spaceship. Now, this is where it gets even more interesting. Somehow, a group of bikers made it onto the road. When they were stopped by some soldiers, they asked what they were transporting, and the soldier said they found a UFO up in the mountains. Now apparently he said this jokingly, but who knows? In our 7th spot, we have the Tic Tac UFO. Last year, another UFO was spotted near Area 51. This one was given the name the Tic Tac UFO because of its tic tac shape and white or bright appearance. So this spacecraft was caught on footage by a person driving along near Area 51. He was driving along the extraterrestrial highway. That's the name given to the highway in Nevada, as a number of UFOs have been seen by drivers while on this route. At first, the driver thought that what he was seeing was just a cloud. When he got closer to it, he realized that it was definitely a craft of some kind. Later on, alien hunter Scott Waring confirmed that the UFO was in fact alien in origin. Also, the area in which he was driving through had a number of wind farms in the area. Turns out that in the past, a lot of UFOs have been spotted around wind farms, and one UFO even crashed into a windmill many years back. Some say this is because aliens are fascinated with human technology. In our 6th spot, we have Stephen Barron. In 2016, UFO hunter Steve Barron captured video and photographic evidence of another alien spacecraft close to Area 51. These were taken near his home in Las Vegas, Nevada, an hour drive from Area 51. Using a night vision camera, Steve head out to Red Rock Canyon to try and capture a UFO. The first couple of hours, there was nothing. Then he saw mysterious weird flashing lights appear over a mountain. He said this in regards to the UFO and its lights, and I quote, "First one, then two, then more and more. They put on a spectacular show. I am glad I was patient because the show they put on kept getting better and better. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the CIA spy plane. In 2011, Los Angeles Times journalist Annie Jacobson published a book called Area 51, an uncensored history of America's top secret military base. In the book, she included a number of never-before-seen photos of the base. The first one I want to show you is of a CIA spy plane. This photo shows an A-12 ox cart hidden behind a barrier at Area 51. This was a top secret plane that was created to reach high speeds and altitudes. During the first 3 years of testing this plane, everything was kept top secret. In fact, the pilots weren't even allowed to tell their wives what they were working on. On May 24, 1963, during a test flight, the plane crashed. The pilot, Ken Collins, was fine but had to eject himself out of the plane. But afterwards, the CIA actually injected him with sodium pentothal, aka truth serum, to then interrogate him after the crash. That's crazy. In our 4th spot, we have the rare photo. So this photo was also featured in Annie Jacobson's book Area 51, an uncensored history of America's top secret military base. In fact, this is a very rare photo that has never been published before. It was published for the first time in Annie's book, and that's it. This photo is an aerial view of Area 51 taken in 1964. I don't know why it was kept a secret for so long or how Annie got her hands on it, but she did and decided to share it with the world. Moving on at number 3, we have the early U-2 spy planes. In the early 1950s, at the peak of the Cold War, the CIA began to develop planes that they wanted to reach an altitude of 70,000 feet to avoid detection against Soviet radar. This gave birth to the U-2 spy planes that you see here in this picture. This photo was taken in Area 51 in 1956, and pictures of workers standing on the plane's wing. Sadly, at least 3 pilots lost their lives during test flights, including 2 at Area 51 and 1 at an Air Force base in Germany. Coming in at number 2, we have Boyd Bushman. Shortly before his death, former Area 51 engineer Boyd Bushman revealed that he encountered aliens while working at Area 51. In a video, Bushman shows a number of mysterious photos to the camera, including one of an alien and a number of photos of the alien's appendages.
We have a total of at least 18 that exist and operate with our facility.
Now, many people believe that this man is telling the truth. Why? Because he had nothing to gain or lose by sharing his story. Plus, an interrogator with the police studied Boyd's movements and speech pattern during this interview, and he said that it appears as if he's telling the truth. In the interview, he said that Area 51 has at least 18 of these aliens in their facility. He also claims that there are 2 groups of aliens. One group are called the Wranglers, the others are called the Rustlers. The aliens that are considered Wranglers are friendly and have a better relationship with humans. Rustlers, however, have been known to steal cattle. This is all insane. And in our number 1 spot today, we have Boyd Bushman and the UFO. During his interview, Boyd Bushman also revealed photos of real UFO spacecrafts that he saw while working at Area 51.
Up close and personal, this is a UFO which is ready to take off.
So that's a close-up photo of a UFO spacecraft taking off. Then he also showed a different photo of a UFO spacecraft with its lights turned off. What do you think though? Is Boyd telling the truth? Are those real photos of UFOs? Let me know in the comments below.